reopening national borders is the last thing to do. Economic activity to improve in second half of the year. Welcome to Updates at Noon. I'm Brendan Lipal. Reopening the national border is the last thing that would be done by the government in combating COVID-19 pandemic. Health Director General Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said this after the Health Ministry detects positive COVID-19 cases among Malaysians returning from overseas.
The border control is very important because we have seen Malaysian returnees coming back. We have 360 cases positive. And some of them, 88 of them positive at the second swab, which means the first swab negative. And we quarantine them. After the 13th day, we swab them again, they're positive. So because of that, we are very concerned with regards to opening up the border. That will be the last option and the last resort before we do so. But more importantly, today we are looking...
Dr. Noor Hisham explained that reinforcement of border control was aimed to prevent the spread of the virus at the domestic level, other than to monitor the global situation of related to the pandemic. Meanwhile, Dr. Noor Hisham said the Movement Control Order, MCO, might be reinforced if there is a sudden spike in infection causing the COVID-19 R0 RO value indicator raises to 1.6, which is at the warning level. As such, he calls on the rakyat to keep adhering to the standard operating procedure set by the government to prevent the pandemic infection.
Apa yang penting, walaupun kita memberi kelonggaran, ialah Kementerian Kesihatan tetap akan memantau keadaan semasa, iaitu setiap hari kita akan memantau keadaan kita. Jadi kalau R0 kita meningkat lebih daripada 1, itu dah mula ada satu amaran kepada kita untuk mengambil tindakan yang lebih drastik. Sama ada kita akan kembali kepada PKP atau tidak bergantung pada rakyat Malaysia. Sama ada kes akan menular atau meningkat juga bergantung pada rakyat Malaysia.
Dr. Noor Hisham also said that based on the projection, the Health Ministry also expected Malaysia to achieve single digits in new cases in 1 week's time if the people continue to adhere to the CMCO SOP. Senior Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob has assured that there are adequate supply of essential goods to sustain the need of the people. He also said that stern actions will be taken against traders, manufacturers, retailers and wholesalers who try to take advantage of the situation by increasing the price of the essential goods. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said so far there were 20,572 complaints received related to the matter. Of that number, 2,851 complaints have been recorded and actions will be taken by the enforcement agencies.
Oleh itu, orang ramai dinasihatkan supaya tidak bimbang dengan kecukupan bekalan makanan dan keperluan harian, terutamanya di bulan Ramadan ini, kerana keseluruhan barangan makanan adalah mencukupi dan mudah diperolehi.
He also said that the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry has conducted surveillance on 25 food items in 1,700 business premises. Meanwhile, the government has decided to implement a standard operating procedure SOP during the festive season. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the SOP will be implemented during Hari Raya, Aidilfitri, Pesta Kaamatan and Hari Gawai. Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said under the SOP, visits during Hari Raya, Hari Gawai and Pesta Kaamatan will only be permitted on the first day of the celebrations.
Ziarah menziarah hanya hari raya pertama. Jadi hari raya pertama lah. Tidak ada hari raya kedua, ketiga sampai ke hari raya ke-30 lah. Untuk biasanya kita beraya sebulan. Dan tidak ada open house lah. Open house adalah terlarang di dalam peraturan Akta 342. rumah terbuka tidak dibenarkan.
He added that visits would be limited to just family members at a maximum of 20 people per day.
Jumlah 20 orang itu juga perlu diambil kira berdasarkan kepada saiz rumah. Satu-satu rumah. Katakan flat yang berukuran 600 kaki persegi sebagai contoh. 20 satu masa mungkin terlalu ramai dan tidak boleh dilakukan penjarakan sosial di dalam rumah tersebut. Jadi mereka boleh mungkin 4 kali, tetapi maksimumnya tetap juga 20 orang untuk satu hari tersebut.
The senior minister said the decision to limit the movement during the festive season was to prevent any new positive cases among the Rakyat. The Dewan Rakyat meeting scheduled on 18 May, Monday, will only see the Yang Di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Rayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah giving the royal address for the opening of the third session of Parliament. Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Muhammad Arif Mat Yusof in a statement said with this, there will be no debate scheduled after the King's address. He explained that the amendment to the meeting agenda was in line with Standing Orders 11 subsection 2 and 15 subsection 2 of the Dewan Rakyat regulation. Tan Sri Muhammad Arif said he has received the notification letter signed by Prime Minister as the leader of the House, stating that the government has decided that the agenda for the parliamentary sitting was amended to focus only on the royal address. He said this was due to the fact that the COVID-19 pandemic in the country has yet to be fully over. The royal address will begin at 10 a.m. with both Dewan Rakyat and Dewan Negara holding their meetings simultaneously. Tan Sri Muhammad Arif said Dewan Rakyat Secretary Ridwan Rahmat will issue a new notice relating to the meeting to all members of Parliament. The Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court has granted a discharge not amounting to an acquittal to Riza Shahriz Abdul Aziz, who was charged with 5 counts of money laundering amounting to $248 million. Judge Azman Ahmad allowed the application after prosecutor Datuk Sri Gopal Sri Ram told the court that this would be subject to the accused fulfilling his side of the bargain. Datuk Sri Gopal said an agreement has been reached between the prosecution and the accused, under the terms of which the federal government will receive a substantial sum running into several million ringgit. He also said the sums had a direct reference to the subject matter of the charges framed. He then explained that the charges against Riza would not be continued for the time being, pending completion of the deal. The court also allowed the return of the 1 million ringgit posted by Riza's 2 bailiffs. However, Datuk Sri Gopal also said that the prosecution reserves the right to reinstate the charges and prosecute the accused to the full limit of the law if the accused failed to deliver his side of the bargain. Riza, the stepson of former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak, had claimed trial to the money laundering charges allegedly involving funds received from Good Star Limited and Aba Investment PJS Limited. The charges were made under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001, which carries a jail term of up to 5 years and a maximum fine of 5 million ringgit or 5 times the amount of the proceeds, whichever is higher. An unemployed man has been slapped with 12 months jail term by the Sepang Sessions Court for hanging a dog by a tree. Sessions Court Judge Nur Hisham Muhammad Jaffar made the ruling after the accused failed to pay 40,000 ringgit fine set by the court. Previously, the man was caught seen hanging his dog by a tree at a roadside in a 1 minute 37 seconds video that went viral on social media recently. A veterinary department officer who saw the incident went to save and bring the dog to animal shelter. The accused was charged on the 6th of May for committing the offence with the intention to kill the dog. The accused was not represented by a lawyer. There were 160 cases of river pollution reported in which enforcement was taken during the movement control order period from 18 March until the 4th of May. Environment and Water Minister Datuk Tuan Ibrahim Tuan Man said of that 2 factories in Ipoh, Perak and Batu Pahat, Johor have had their operations suspended. Datuk Tuan Ibrahim said in order to ensure the water supply from rivers remain free from industrial and domestic waste pollution, the ministry has decided to launch Ops Air Raya until the 29th of May. He said the operation that consists of 600 personnel from 5 agencies will focus on states with high water usage such as Selangor and Kuala Lumpur.
Dan kita harapkan dalam tempoh ini semua pihak mesti prihatin dan menjaga kebersihan sumber air kita. Dan di samping menjaga soal pencemaran yang lain lah, ya, selain pada sumber air termasuklah pencemaran dari segi sampah dan sebagainya.
Going for a quick break, and when we come back, Air Asia studying possibility of increasing FS. Stay with us. Welcome back. Malaysia's economic activity is expected to gradually improve in the second half of the year after COVID-19 containment measures are eased and the Domestic Movement Control Order (MCO) is lifted. Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) Governor Datuk Noor Shamsia Mohamad Yunus said that would allow a gradual resumption of economic activities in the country and a greater demand in the services sector.
The gradual pickup in economic activity mainly reflects lifting of the MCO domestically, support from fiscal, monetary and financial measures, improvement in external demand conditions and tax cycle, and lastly, the continuation in large transportation projects and recovery in the commodities sector.
She said this in a virtual press conference in conjunction with the announcement of the country's first quarter 2020 gross domestic product (GDP) yesterday. Datuk Noor Shamsia said the improvement in growth is expected in second half 2020 as the country resumed economic activities under the less restrictive Conditional Movement Control Order (CMCO) from the 4th of May to the 9th of June. Earlier, she said Malaysia's economy expanded moderately at 0.7% in the first quarter of 2020, the slowest pace since the third quarter of 2009, negative 1.1%, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the implementation of MCO. With acknowledging the impact from COVID-19 would be severe, she anticipates a deep contraction in Q2 2020 against 0.7% growth in Q1 2020. The government will be implementing a short and medium-term economic recovery plan to rejuvenate the country's economic growth in the nearest time. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the plan will highlight health guidelines and safe operating procedures in the new norm, capacity building, hiring of workers, job creation, as well as boosting consumer spending, especially through digital channels. Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul said the government will also support the restructuring, recovery and growth of small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, especially via digital technology, enhancing resilience and developing growth opportunities for medium and large-sized companies, boosting investors' confidence and generating short-term economic growth. He explained that the government is confident Malaysia will be in a strong position to face the increasingly challenging global economy. The Finance Minister also said that in 2021, Malaysia is expected to project better economic growth based on future global and domestic economic recovery measures. The Special Task Force on Digital Malaysia, chaired by the Ministry of Communications and Multimedia, KKMM, will be holding discussions on internet access and quality. The task force will also discuss on the charges imposed by telecommunication companies following increased internet usage during the COVID-19 pandemic. Communications and Multimedia Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah said COVID-19 had taught a lot of lessons, among them being that there were still areas with slower internet connection or the quality was still not at its best. Dato' Saifuddin said that KKMM would also discuss with the Education Ministry regarding efforts to expand educational television program, TV Pendidikan, and online educational activities. Earlier, he met Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation (MDEC) Chief Executive Officer Surina Shukri and Lazada Malaysia Chief Marketing Officer Bu Po Swan, who also represented China's e-commerce company Alibaba Group regarding efforts to widen cooperation in expanding the country's digital economy. Meanwhile, MDEC said in a statement that Alibaba Group had agreed for its Electronic World Trade Platform (EWTP) at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport (KLIA) to function as one of its 3 global hubs.
Kedudukan kita sebenarnya di tengah-tengah ASEAN. Kita harus mengoptimumkan kedudukan kita dan sebab itu kita galakkan kerjasama yang sedemikian rupa. Dan bagi syarikat yang besar dari luar ASEAN ataupun dari luar Malaysia, misalnya Alibaba, mereka bukan saja melihat Malaysia, mereka lihat rantau.
Low-cost airline AirAsia Berhad is studying the possibility of increasing its airfares in the future following the implementation of the Conditional Movement Control Order (CMCO). Executive Chairman Datuk Kamarudin Merandun said discussions are ongoing to decide if there is an urgent need for AirAsia to increase its airfares in the future. He, however, said even if there is an increase, it will not be significant.
Kenaikan harga tangga ni tertakluk kepada kos. InsyaAllah kita cuba sedaya upaya untuk tak menaikkan. Therefore, kalau you tengok, bila kita start domestic flight tu, harga yang kita tawarkan mungkin perbezaan sedikit daripada yang dahulunya. Kalau ada pun tak ketara. InsyaAllah.
He said this after the launch of the group's charity campaign Derma Dengan Ikhlas in Kuala Lumpur yesterday. On Tuesday, some local carriers warned that passengers were likely to have to pay over 50% or more for airfares if social distancing is implemented on board aircraft, as proposed by the International Air Transport Association in view of the COVID-19. Malaysia Airlines Berhad and Malindo Air said the need for social distancing among passengers would result in a spike in airfares by up to 54%. Coming up in sports, MPM respects decision to cancel 2020 ASEAN Para Games. The Malaysian Paralympic Council, MPM, welcomes the decision by the ASEAN Para Sports Federation, APSF, to hold a Board of Governors meeting to confirm the cancellation of the 2020 ASEAN Para Games, APG, in the Philippines. The country was supposed to host the biennial event in January after the Southeast Asian SEA Games last December. However, it was delayed several times to May or June before the decision to call it off was made due to the COVID-19 pandemic. MPM President Datuk Seri Megadi Shariman Zaharuddin said he hopes that an official decision will be reached on whether the event is completely cancelled to focus on the 2021 APG in Vietnam or it will be hosted by a new country. In an MPM statement released yesterday, Datuk Seri Megad said although they are disappointed with the announcement, they respect and understand the host country, the Philippines' decision to cancel and channel the funding to fighting the spread of COVID-19. He added the decision from the meeting will have a deep effect on preparations by the national athletes. Earlier yesterday, APSF issued a statement that an emergency Board of Governors meeting would be held to discuss, confirm and ratify the cancellation of the 10th APG to focus on the 11th APG scheduled to take place in Vietnam. That's it from us this afternoon. A reminder of our top story, reopening national borders is the last thing to do. Join us on News On 2 at 7 this evening. Till then, I'm Brendan Lepol. Thanks for watching.